First of all, if you did not take the time to shake the hand of our mystery shaker, it will cost you a quarter. Past zone chair, immediate, Maryland. So, we may not get a lot of money. Our first contributor today will be Lion Dwayne.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, there's my fine, and here's my happy buck, and it's a bit of an announcement. If you're like me, I donate blood once in a while. Today they're actually having 2 donation spots, one over at hospice at 10:35:11 from 9 o'clock to 3, and the other one's at LCC at the Bloodmobile. So if you're feeling like donating blood, today's a good time until 3 o'clock. They do take walk-ins.
Sure. Just what I need. Take more blood. Okay. What? Good on you. Lion Larry.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, Kathleen and I are happy to announce the birth of our newest grandson, Holden Eugene Elliott.
Marlene has money?
I do.
Oh my. Lion Marlene.
$10 too.
Hey, we have the full contingent of tail twisters today, by the way.
We're all here. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, King Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. I have one thing, put 10 in because I'm extremely grateful for the thoughts and prayers of the Lions and the card that was sent. My sister definitely has a long road in front of her, but she'll be moving to the frontier today. A couple weeks ago she had blood clots and she had a stroke. That's after having meningitis. So thank you for all the well wishes.
Okay, moving on. Tickets, anything? Dig deep, dig deep.
I'll think of something.
Okay, right now. Zone chair. Cindy.
Not pushy, are you? Oh. President Leroy, Lions, and guests. I have $1 because Steve asked me to do this. So. No, we did Olympic school last week, and we had 355 students that we did, and that we did hearing also. It was a great time. We got the printer to work, so it prints off the results of the children that need glasses. We attach it to a form, the nurse gets it, she signs off on it, sends it home to the parents. So really was a great job.
It's working.
Good job, Luke.
Lion Pat. Oh, we have a list. My goodness.
Well, I'm excited. That's why I had made the list, because I'm very, very happy. You know, we love football and we watch many. Oh, President, excuse me. Fellow Lions and yes, thank you. Anyway, we love football, and my grandson's team did something that I have never seen happen in all the years we watch football. I had to make a list so you can get the thing. Sacramento State is whose college is. They're playing Northern Arizona. Their quarterback got hurt last week, so they have a backup quarterback who had never started before. It was the 4th quarter. They had no more timeouts. There was 1 minute and 38 seconds left, and they were down by 10. Our quarterback threw a touchdown pass, and then they made the point after. They did an offside kick, and they recovered the ball. They did several more first downs to get in the field position for a field goal so they could tie the game. No, they threw another touchdown pass. They won the game 38-34, and there was still 23 seconds left in that game. Lloyd and I were exhausted. I don't know what the team did, but we were, that little quarterback, like I say, never started before, threw for 384 yards and 4 touchdowns. So we were excited. And that certainly beats the Cougs.
Now it's my turn. I'll get started yet here, kid. Bottom feeder. We got any Cougar fans here?
No.
A young fella?
BYU.
I don't know what to say. I can't follow that. So here's a sad dollar for my Cougar loss last year.
President Cougar.
Well, that, do it twice next week, and that'll make up for it, yeah. Here to add to his totals for his Lion Excellence Award, Kim, Lion Bill.
I don't have to come here for this, I guess stay home. President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. Just a happy dollar to be here finally. Just finished 18 days of an annual shutdown, so glad to be home.
All right. Where's Olivia?
Lion Walter.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, I just wanted to tell you I got a little problem that I just solved yesterday. Marie was telling me that she said this Facebook business is ruining our relationship at home, whatnot. Got to do something about it, so I got it solved. I blocked her.
We love you, man. Pass, zone chair, Steve.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. One happy dollar for that game last night. Seahawks did awesome. And this is one, tomorrow I'm going in for cataract surgery on my right eye.
He's blind in one eye and can't see out of the other. Pass, zone chair, Greg.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, couple dollars today. First one, my sister's getting her closure, losing Dick, and she was very happy to see all of the Lions at that get-together on Sunday. And the other one, echoing Steve about the Seahawks, that was one game, I don't want to do that again.
Pass, zone chair, Gary.
Thank you. President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, I have a sad dollar for not attending Dick's memorial service the other day, but I have a happy dollar. I was up in Port Townsend or near Port Townsend for Pat Palmer's daughter's wedding. Nice to be included. Another sad buck.
Did you get married?
No, but Pat Palmer shared a room with me, and he snores really bad.
Always good to know. Vice, let's do it here. Vice Council Chair Al Heckstrom.
I've got a dollar here for the joke of the day. For acknowledging President Leroy, fellow Lions, fellow guests who may be about. So the joke of the day has to do with a great comedian by the name of George Burns. I imagine there's a few here that may know of George Burns. Let me reverse that. Who here does not know who George Burns was? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So in his later years, George was interviewed and asked a series of questions, including, while he was sitting there smoking his cigar, the journalist asked him, he says, so you still smoke cigars? And George says, yeah, I do enjoy a good cigar. And he takes a sip of his martini, and the interviewer asks him, so you also like martinis? And George said, a good martini is to be admired. He said, absolutely. And the interviewer asked him, I understand you also occasionally go out on a date. And George says, I do enjoy the company of young ladies. And the interviewer asked him, what does your doctor have to say about this? And George said, my doctor's dead.
What do we have to look forward to next year, huh? Past council chair.
Thank you.
Hal.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, the first dollar is a donation to the Washington State Cougar defensive. Another buck is all it could take, right? Right. Second, happy dollars. Oh, what an amazing game last night. There's so many hearts, things I wonder if I need to go get checked. And then the third, happy dollars, watching my little baby brother walk his daughter down the aisle. And as I told everybody there, hey, it's a first Palmer wedding I haven't had to pay for.
Media past zone chair, Marilyn.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, this is a happy dollar. It's good to see you get off of your chair, Steve. I'm so glad you're here. Oh, and this is a friendly dollar for Marie. Marie, you can be my friend on Facebook.
Moving right along.
She's still the love of your life?
We'll talk about it later. Past District Governor Mike.
King Lion Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. One good thing that came out of the service for Dick the other day, I had the pleasure of meeting a Firth that was nice.
My sister, my other brother.
Moving right along.
Damn.
Lion Gina.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, thank you, Walt Speck. I'm going to take that bit of advice. My husband, he rejected Facebook for years. He just, nothing to do with it, look at you like he's so much mightier. He finally got on Facebook and now he stalks everybody. He gets on there and he raises questions just to get people riled up. It's embarrassing. I think I'm going to have to block him.
Okay, any positive news anywhere? Past President, immediate, Kent.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, one happy dollar. If any of you have ever had the opportunity to sit and watch a football game, last night was a night to be there. Greg Berth and Marnie Berry just made the whole evening so exciting because of all their activity and hooping and hollering. What a game.
Yes, so. Past President Jim.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, I missed a few meetings, so I'm going to give $5, but I heard, and this is maybe just a rumor, that shortly after the wedding, Pat did inform the groom that Hal is a member of the family.
You need change, Jim. Okay, Shorty. Lion Jim.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, this is a confused dollar. What's Facebook?
Keep it that way.
In case you didn't know about the nature of his education, he did go to USC. But it was the other campus, wasn't it? Okay, and now we go to our loser.
President Leroy, fellow Lions, yes, this is a $5 fine for bringing up politics. Since you brought it up, I'm just going to say that I'm going to have some, I think there was some meddling in the election from an outside source. I was tracking numbers, I looked pretty good until about noon on Tuesday, then the numbers just plummeted. And I have corroborating witnesses, that's the same time that Phil displayed a very derogatory sign, mocking my yard sign. And I'm going to see if it was doing some other illegal activity also.
There's a boat that sunk. Okay. Past President and Secretary Phil, you got any words of wisdom? That's what I thought. Who we got? Okay, last one. How you doing? Fine, David.
There's two happy bucks. Fellow President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. My happiness is based on how I treat people, give them a smile, and occasionally, or whenever the case can be, when it's appreciated, I sing. I'm very careful with that. Sometimes we can overdo that one, but sometimes just a nice word is appreciated. And since it was my birthday, I'm going to sing 9 days ago. I'm hoping it's all right to sing this song.
Did we say happy birthday to you?
No, because I didn't tell you about it. And anyway, I'll try to make this quick.
Please.
It's about a minute and a half locked on. Oh Lord my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the worlds thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When through the woods and forest glades I wander, and hear the brooks, and feel the gentle breeze. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When through the woods. I'm just about done. That's fine.
Well done, well done.
Go ahead with your frivolity, it's just fine. President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, my typical $5 happy dollars. One is for the Seahawks, definitely, but the other four are for the wonderful days and time spent with family. The incredible, as the picture would show that was online, my harem. My first ex-wife, my second ex-wife, and my current girlfriend. All sitting at a table talking, scared the living crap out of me, I'm going to tell you that. Jerry was taking notes fast, yeah. But truly to see that young lady who's so intelligent, so smart, to give her life to her betrothed, Trent, it was just a very special moment for the fathers in the room that have been through that situation, you know what I speak of. The best absolute part of it, and I know you guys will understand this when you hear it, the
2 rooms, the rooms that I paid for were about $500. The bar tab was a little over $6.
That's so, Chair. Sue, do you have a word?
I have a word.
A brief?
But mine's really important. I'm from Washougal. So you go, yeah. Washougal Panthers are in the playoffs for the first time in forever. All right. Yeah, see, that was really important. Not to you guys, but to me. What?
Hello, Chair. Happy to be here to push my your dahlias or whatever. Take it away, Leroy.
Okay, boy. Leading us today in the invocation will be Walt Speck.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all of the blessings that you have bestowed upon us and the blessings of a great membership and those members recently departed. Thank you for sharing them with us. Thank you for all of the love and friendship that we've enjoyed. Please bless this food to our bodies. Bless us in your service, and we'll give you the praise. Amen.
Pledge will be led by Louis Fickett.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And our song will be led by Past Zone Chair Marilyn Patterson.
My country is of the sweet land of liberty, of the I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring.
Thank you. Do we have introduction?
Leroy as a guest. Ryan Paul Spears as a guest.
President Leroy, fellow
And past zone chair Marilyn Patterson has a couple of guests.
President Leroy, fellow Alliance and guests, I'd like to introduce my guest, Vice Council Chair Al Hedstrom. His home club is Silverdale Sunrise. So we'll be coming out early today to get there. And then I'd also like to introduce immediate top zone chair. Ann, are you president still of Washougal Lions? This is Sue Fox.
Yeah, the guests. Okay, let's see. How do we want to do this today? Al, do you want to speak? Did you have something you wanted to say shortly?
You're on a timer, mister.
Thank you. As long as I got the microphone, I'm the timer. Mr. President and fellow Lions, Hal, come on up here. I'm here today to present to Hal the official pin recognizing him as a graduate of the Faculty Development Institute. For those of you that are unaware, the LCI puts on, assembles, makes available a variety of different institutes for different purposes, including faculty development, of course. And the whole purpose, of course, is to make sure that guys like him are trained up, that they know how to make good presentations, that they understand adult learning concepts, that they know about curriculum development, so that they can, in turn, train others. And this is exactly what Hal was looking for, and he got through it. He suffered through it. And I want to present the official pin recognizing him as a graduate of FBI. Congratulations, Hal.
Did you say adult?
You're not going to try to fit it on me. Well, thank you very much, Vice Council Chair Al. It's interesting when you work together over the years for, what, last 15, 20 years, something like that? Something like that. He was one of our first FBI graduates in multiple District 19. And it's an interesting class because it forces you to do a presentation about every 2.5 hours. And it's parts of the introduction, so forth, and then you are critiqued by everybody in the room. Yeah! And that is very helpful. So Al, thank you for coming down here and presenting this. Thank you.
You have another 30 seconds if you'd like.
Sure.
30 seconds.
Okay. Sue, you.
Okay. Okay, first of all, I'll apologize for not following your protocol, but you're in a club.
President who?
Just a minute. Okay, there are two different worlds in Lions clubs. There's the big clubs, and then there's us teeny tiny clubs. So we don't call each other anything but our first names. And we don't have much in the way of protocol. But casual, very, very casual. So it wasn't mean any disrespect. I just never done it before, ever. It's not even here. Okay, so what do you say? President Leroy? Huh?
Fellow Lions and guests.
Fellow Lions and guests?
Yay!
Somebody get her a pin.
That's just for a little teeny announcement. Okay. I'm here again, selling poinsettia. So offering you the opportunity to buy a poinsettia. They're grown in the Kaiser or Salem area, and any poinsettias that are ordered from this club, I will deliver after December 5th, whatever the Tuesday is after December 5th. December 5th is Thursday, so whatever that next Tuesday is, I'll be back, okay? And what you do when you buy a poinsettia from me is you help support our scholarship fund. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, for announcements. First of all, I'm going to start off with a thank you card to the Lions. A special thank you to all of you for the cards, flowers, and well wishes for the family. We all appreciate seeing you at the celebration of life for Dick. This is from Susan McIntyre and family. Anyway, so thank you. Moving on to other announcements. A reminder, the board meeting will be November 21st at the Kelso Elks. So remember that. You still got a couple weeks. Anybody that needs anything brought up at the board meeting, make sure you talk to your VP and get that to them so we can get this on the agenda. Next up is going to be third VP Rex. Rex?
Rex.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. I am calling a work party for tomorrow and Thursday down at the shop at 9 o'clock to finish up getting the Christmas lights ready. And then this Saturday at 9 o'clock down at the shop, we need to meet down there to haul the lights down to Lions Island. And then I'll have more dates for next week.
Okay. And then we'll go to first VP, Darlene. I'm just going in order. It's on my list here.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. We have bazaar last Friday for Relay for Life. We have a couple bags of kettle corn left. I think there's regular and there might be some cotton candy, one cotton candy left. And we made about $500 on the bazaar. And we have one more in December, so thank you.
Sweet. Next up will be Gina.
Gina.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests. Darlene, do you need any more Afghans?
No.
Just check. I'd like to have an awards meeting immediately following this meeting, please.
Thank you. Paul Spears is next.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, just a reminder,
December 14th, Saturday, we will be doing the bell ringing at Walmart on Ocean Beach. I don't have a sign-up sheet here yet. I will have them next week. I've already got 2 people signed up. The one that know where the sheet was gave me a date and the time that they're going to be there, so that's good. We already have 2 people. The shifts will run 10 till 6, 2-hour shifts, which is a little less than before. We usually start at 9 o'clock, but this will be like 10 to 12, 12 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6. 2 doors, the grocery door and the pharmacy door. I will have the sign-up sheets here next week. Thank you very much.
Next will be Gail Bradley.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, we will be having a spaghetti dinner fundraiser here November 30th at 6 p.m. and half is to go for the carpet fund and half will help the Lions with the icing. So, the viewing screen. So, and please sign up if you plan to, that way we have a count. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's circle around to
More I things.
more things. Next will be Zone Chair Cindy Fickett.
President Leroy, members and guests. We have visitations, always have an opportunity to visit another club, and another meeting. The cabinet meeting is November 16th, I believe that's this Saturday, at the Women's Club over on 21st, and it's a potluck. So the meeting starts at 9 o'clock and will be all done by 12. So they'll probably have lunch about 11:30. So you have that opportunity. And then visitation tonight at Peninsula, Long Beach. District Governor is going to visit that club tonight. So we're headed there after the meeting today via Costco. Always spend a lot of money there. Shouldn't go. And then the screening, we have a couple opportunities for screeners. We have November 18th up at Columbia Heights. They're having a reading that day, so maybe someone who's already there and their shift has ended. And then one November 20th, and that's at Cascade. And I believe they have a couple of hundred. Anyway, we have more to come. And I really want to thank the people that went, oh, Toodles, that's not this Friday. Oh yeah, this Friday. So we'll need people to go to Toodles too. I don't have that one marked down. I was thinking it was next week.
Thank you.
So there's over 400 kids there, so we'll need people. So if you could come up and talk to Louie or I about that. And on the meeting we went to Olympic, I want to thank Bob and Tom and Lloyd. And we called in Darlene. So thanks a lot for coming and helping us do that. It was a lot of fun. We have this one little girl. She had glasses in her pocket and she didn't want to bring them out, but fortunately we were kind of between books, so she was able to kind of hide between them. So she took them out just long enough so we could take her test. And her prescription was good. I don't know why she wasn't wearing them. Then had another little girl. She was just proud as punch on her glasses. And she went and had her test done, and the nurse, one of the teachers came to me and she goes, does she really need glasses? I said, no, they were false glasses. She was like wearing them.
Thanks, Cindy. Next will be Past Zone Chair Craig Firth. That's the last one. Oh, I got one.
President Leroy, fellow Lions and guests, a few announcements here. Tomorrow night, 6:30 is our monthly Sight and Hearing Foundation meeting. Anybody that wants to attend is more than welcome to see what we do. And that's over at Canterbury Park, up on the 2nd floor. Second announcement, Walk and Knock Food Drive. That's coming up the December the 7th. I've got a sign-up sheet here, and there aren't very many names written down on it yet. I have numbered all the way through 100. Last year we had close to 100 members, friends, and family out to collect food, and that really, really worked great. I also have Jim Glad pins. And that's the big bundle. Also, I do have membership applications for anybody that needs them. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And one last thing, put this on your calendar or scratch off this part on your calendar. On December 24th and December 31st, that's Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, those are both Tuesdays, there will not be a Lions meeting luncheon. So just remember, the last 2 Tuesdays of the month, there won't be any meeting. Then you can enjoy Christmas and everything. And going from there, Pat Palmer, you're up.
Thank you very much, President Leroy. It gives me great pleasure every November to be your program chair. I try to find the most, some of the fun folks that are around us. I hope everybody enjoyed last week with our guest from Elan A. And next week we're going to have another quality program. Today we have a special friend and a guest. You may have voted for her or maybe you didn't, but last November the Honorable Judge Debra Burchett became the first woman district court judge in Cowlitz County history. And she's been serving that capacity ever since. I did assist and talk with her and help on her campaign because I just found her to be such a quality human being. She has that rare ability to look you right in the face and tell you the truth that you need to hear in a way that makes you hear it. And I think that's a grand quality in a judge. The long and the short of it is that she's been dispensing justice to those people in town who have misdemeanors and slightly larger problems in their lives and helping them guide through how they can get through those problems. And I think that you'll find her talk interesting and fun, but more importantly, you'll find that it will touch your life in some good way because that's kind of who she is. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my friend, Debra Burchett, the Honorable Judge.
Some of you look familiar to me, but not in a criminal way. Actually, I want to tell you about meeting Pat for the first time. The first time I met Pat, we had lunch at the masthead because I was referred to him as somebody who knew how to run campaigns because I'd never run one before. And I was not looking forward to it. That was not my favorite part. And he sat next to me and he said, I just want you to know one thing, I only pick winners. And I said, well, looks like you came to the right place. So I did run for office, and we did not run on the woman card. Actually, we ran a very clean campaign. That was the most important thing to me is when we started out. We were not going to be negative. We were not going to bash anyone. We were just going to run on our own merits, and that's exactly what we did, and we held each other to that. And it was not a lot of fun. I've got a 20-year-old son, and by the end of the campaign, he wasn't even talking to me anymore. I'd stand next to him on the corner waving signs, and he'd be like, get off my corner. But it was a well-run campaign, and I've really enjoyed being in office. And let me tell you what we do if you don't know. We got 3 new judges all at the same time because Judge Koss and Judge Petka retired, and then there was a vacancy, so all 3 of us started together. We came from different backgrounds. And yes, I was the only female, but that wasn't actually why I ran. I wanted the retirement plan more than anything because I've run my own practice for 18 years. So what we do in district court is we do misdemeanors. What that is any crime under 364 days in jail is actually what we're presiding over. We're doing things like we're doing anti-harassment orders, protection orders. We are doing serious crimes like driving under the influence. We're doing assaults. And so those are the kinds of crimes that we're doing. Anything under a year, anything over a year goes to Superior Court. And so we are on the bench every single day. I don't know how they got by with 2 judges because we are busy all the time. We also take phone calls 24/7. So in the middle of the night, I'm getting phone calls about probable cause. In fact, I'll tell you a story. The first time I got the phone call, I almost had a heart attack. It's the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, my phone's ringing, and I couldn't get to it. It was underneath my golden retriever that was on the floor. I'm pushing the dog. I'm trying to get to the phone. I can hear the phone ringing. My son comes running in thinking, oh my God, what's going on? And by the time I got to it, they'd hung up. But then they called again. So we take phone calls in the middle of the night. We find probable cause. What that means is the police officers call us and say, hey, we have a crime here. Do you think that there's enough, enough to it to go ahead and hold someone? So we also make those kinds of decisions. And we also break up according to area. In other words, I am the Longview judge. And so I have all matters that have to do with the city of Longview. As it has to do with search warrants, it has to do with crimes, it has to do with the docket. So that's pretty much what I do. And it's funny, also I think being the first woman judge is I know the two guys that I'm working with, Judge Bowden and Judge Hayes, are wonderful. But I've heard them a couple times and they get their gavels out. I only have to give them mom look. I just have to look out there and look at you and go, really? Are you serious? And so that pretty much ends it a lot of times. And I also have the great privilege that I'm really excited about, and I don't know if you've heard about it, and I want to get it out there, is I run what we call community court. Has anybody heard about community court? Let me tell you what community court is. What community court is it is an alternative to incarceration. And the reason that, number one, was very important as far as my campaign went, it's a campaign promise. Plus, I think it's very important because what's happening with a lot of the court systems now is we are trying to find alternatives to incarceration because there are some individuals that simply do not belong in jail. And it's not just because they're homeless, it's not just because they didn't commit a crime. A lot of times it's because they don't have the capacity to understand what it is that they did. They don't have a way to try and resolve issues. A lot of times they are limited as far as they may not reach to where they are mentally ill. However, they may have issues within their family where they need some help, and their family really wants them to work through community court. And what it is it's an alternative, and it's a program where generally they're minor crimes, they're not real serious crimes, but if you don't have a heavy criminal history, if you stay out of trouble for perhaps a year, you go through certain treatment programs, your charges can be reduced. However, or dismissed, but there's a caveat, you got to work the program. The first thing I tell people that want to join community court is I am not working your life harder than you are. If you're not going to be working the program, if you're not going to be doing the treatment, if you're going to be getting in trouble, this is not going to be the venue for you. And the way that it starts is I will get referrals from a prosecutor or from a defense attorney saying, I think this would be a very good candidate for community court. They have to be amenable to treatment. In other words, they want to get the help. It can't be a serious crime. And the other thing is they have to go to what's called a resource fair. CAP has this every Thursday. We have a number of treatment providers there. People show up there that help with housing. We have homeless people that are within community court. We have housing experts that are there. We have mental health experts that are there. We have people that are there to help people get on health insurance. We have people there from Job Source to help them figure out how to get a job. We have people there that are going to help them learn how to type. We have people there with literacy, help them learn how to read. And what happens is they go to the resource fair, they get evaluated, then they come to community court the following week, and we make the decision together as a team whether in fact they're a good fit for community court. Now let me give you an example. We had a young woman who had mental health issues, and she did not have medical insurance to get help. We got her medical insurance so she could get the help. She went out and evaluated with treatment providers so she could get a mental health evaluation. She goes regularly to get mental health. Since then, we have found housing for her. In addition, she's learning job skills, and in fact, what really scares me is she just got her first learner's permit, so that could be kind of scary. But the whole point here is to get them back on their feet, figure out what they need to do, and help them as far as becoming a productive member of society. And if they have new crimes, if they're not showing up, if they are not working with us and they don't stay in community court, then they go back to the criminal court docket. The other thing that it does for the cities is, number one, it saves incarceration costs. What a lot of people don't know is that when you go to jail, it's costing the cities $90 a day. So it's really saving on their budget if, in fact, they don't go to jail and they have a place where they can go where they can get support and get treatment. So that's essentially probably the most important thing that I'm running as a community court. We started out with 3 people. Now we're up to about 25 people. They graduate, after, it depends on their evaluation. If they get a treatment, it says they need 6 months worth of drug treatment, 6 months worth of mental health. The graduation date might be in 6 months. So it depends on what the evaluation is, but we have our first group that's going to graduate next month, and I'm just really, really excited about it. And not only that, but we're going to be fully funded for another year, the commissioners have decided. We started out with Great Rivers, who was going to help fund us, and now we're going to have the commissioners. So that's pretty much what we do, is we're helping people one person at a time. And you know, when I hear, and I know you've all heard, you hear the negativity in the community about, you know, how it isn't working out, about the homelessness, about people that don't want to be helped, but that's not true. There's a lot of people that want to be helped, and there's a lot of people that need to be helped, and so that's exactly what we're doing. And the resource fair is not just for people in criminal trouble, it's a resource fair for anybody that might be out there that wants some help finding a job, that wants some help. We have veterans there that are helping with VA housing, and we have people that are there, and so that's what we're doing, is we're running the community court. We're looking into a DUI court. They have that in some other counties, but that's essentially what my main function is running community court. And that's in addition to my job, for my day-to-day jobs, and like I said, listening for the phone in the middle of the night. So that's essentially what it is that I do. Do you have any questions? Anybody want to know any more about court? Yes.
I got a question. How about Judge Stoney? Did you ever give him a mother look? No, but you're going to get a mother look.
Well, and you know, it's funny some of the things you hear, because I'll have people say to me, they're like, well, I forgot to go to court. I said, really? Do you ever forget to go to work? Well, who would forget to go to work? I said, exactly. So you hear a lot of, and I know Judge Stone, you've probably heard a lot of different reasons over the years and a lot of different excuses, you know, but no, I don't know if he gave a mother look, but he really held the bench down. Yes?
When was the resource fair again that you have?
It is every Thursday. It is 2:30 at CAP. And we have all kinds of providers there. And so if people show up, they want to know about housing, mental health, substance abuse. You know, and a lot of times, you know, you may not think about it. A lot of times, for instance, you know, there are people you might not think about. Like I'll have a family member call, and they may have a child or a young adult perhaps that has autism. And they're having issues, and maybe they flailed out at home, maybe they got disruptive at home, you know, and they got physical. That may be someone that doesn't belong in jail. They belong to community court, where they can come to community court. We can get them into mental health. We're helping the family, we're helping the community, and I think we're doing the right thing. There are some people that need to be incarcerated, don't get me wrong, but not everybody. And so that's why we're very choosy about who it is that comes through, because we want them to be successful. But I think it is pretty successful, and I'm pretty satisfied and happy with it.
Is that a program set up similar to what the drug court is?
It is very similar to drug court. The only difference is we're not just doing substance abuse, we're also doing mental health, you know, and we're making sure people are on medication if they need to be. We're finding out if people need to, you know, find the right therapist. So we're really tracking them on several different areas, not just the drug court. Now, if they have severe mental health issues, then they're probably not a good candidate for a community court. But people that, you know, are on medication and that want to, you know, do better, then they're a good candidate. Yes?
Do they have the same program for Kelso?
Yes, all the municipalities.
Okay.
In fact, I should have said that, not just the county, any of the municipalities will refer. Kelso does, Longview does. The only problem is, like I said, CAP resource fairs for everyone. This is just for people that have a crime. But yes, we do Kelso, we do Kalama. Any town in Cowlitz County is available for community court. Yes?
When you say we, do you have a selected group of people, or is it just a single, as you as a judge seeing this need of this person? Do you have a team that helps decide?
Typically what happens is, I'm the judge, then I have a resource coordinator who actually is paid through the county and through CAP. We share. She's the one that runs a resource fair. She's the one that evaluates people, gives recommendations. So I work very closely with her. She keeps in touch. Typically what happens is a prosecutor and the defense attorney will refer a person. Then once they enter into community court, they're pretty much out of it. And then it's myself and then the coordinator and any of the mental health providers or substance abuse. In fact, what we we make them do is they have to bring in evaluations. I check to make sure. They come in a couple times a month. Are you getting your evaluation? What does it look like? They have to sign waivers so that I can get that information from the treatment providers, and we track them to make sure that they're on track. Then if they're not complying, they're not showing up, they're not doing what they're supposed to do, generally at first there's a sanction I will give them. You know, you have to do some community service, you might have to do 24 hours in jail, but I'm serious about making sure that they comply. And then we follow them through to make sure. And then if they don't, if they get a new crime, like I had someone a couple of weeks ago, they just can't stay in community court because that's extremely important. You have to promise you're not going to be committing any further crimes. And a lot of times we work with the families too. Any other questions? Yes.
Recognizing your job is fairly serious, there's probably been a time in the courtroom that's put a smile on her face and caused a little bit of laughter. Have you a favorite story in that area?
Oh, I don't.
without revealing Pat's name, go
I can't think of anything really funny. I can think of things that are disturbing.
That's the story about me.
Yeah. It is kind of funny, or every once in a while. I was a public defender for Kelso for years. My office did Kelso, Kalama, and Castle Rock, so a lot of times I'll see a client go, and I voted for you. I can't believe I voted for you. One of my defendants, you know, or I'll see them in the jail, you know, and congratulations, Miss Burchett, I voted for you. So every once in a while I'll see some of that.
Get some 2 hours off the sentence.
Yeah, exactly.
Another question over here, Deb.
I testified in your courtroom here half weeks ago for a dog case. How do we, as neighborhood, that live in that neighborhood with dogs or being citizens, how do we know that the dog owners follow through with what was ordered for them?
Well, and that's the other thing, is I knew somebody looked familiar. That's another thing that we do, is we also have I don't know if I would say privilege, you know, those are my least favorite, is I get dog cases, dangerous dog cases. So, and like I said, I've got a golden retriever who, I tell my son all the time, someone breaks into our house with tennis balls, we're dead. Because I do not have a vicious dog. So, I don't know the answer to that, because I only make the rulings, and then you would probably have to talk to the Humane Society. But those are tough cases. What happens is when there's a dangerous dog, then if they want to appeal that designation, then they have to come to court, and then I'm sort of the final arbiter to say, yes, unfortunately, that dog is dangerous. And then the person, I don't know whether you know this, the person either has the option to follow through with some real stringent requirements, or unfortunately, sometimes the dog has to be put down. You know, I don't make that decision, but that's kind of, that's not a fun one.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, and our dogs, they're always on the leash, but in that case, the dogs were on the leash. We have a lot of neighbors that have small dogs in their neighborhood, so I'll check with them.
I would check with the Humane Society to find what the final disposition is. I do know that once they have a hearing, like we did, they have 10 days to remedy the problem. And I know it's been well over 10 days. So, but then, you know, and unfortunately or fortunately, for a lot of people, I mean, our dogs are like our children, so that's kind of a tough role. So, anything else? Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah.
We have time. Could you make some judgments out here?
Who wants to get up and talk about with that? And so, yeah, I have something for you, but we didn't have it out, so it's coming right now. So let's see here. Let's go with the tickets right now. We'll start off with the pale blue, which is white. 366-2288. Some really easy numbers there. 366-2288. Really? Do I have to? Yeah, 366-2288.
It was here very early.
Okay. Well, if someone can draw me another one, we'll just move on. So, red ticket. Red ticket is going to be...
88. Was it the ticket 88?
Uh-huh. Is that Tom? Oh, I had, okay. I had Tom out doing something. Judge, I have this for you. Thank you very much for visiting us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
And we usually have an application for membership, which we'll get that too. So if you want to be part of this crazy group, you're more than welcome.
Here you go, Leroy.
Here we got it, right here. Here we are. Here you go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Tom won the chance to pick the Joker, so we'll see how he does. The red ticket. 5-8. 7-1. 7-6. Is that Tom? Oh, it's Louis. Where you want that to go, Louis?
4 spades.
Huh? Oh, Cindy's ticket. Where you want it to go, Cindy? You, Vision. Good answer. Safe one, too. Dessert. Jane. Oh, Mike.
It'll be all over the web with that now.
And there we go. So, just a reminder, the board meeting will be on November 21st over at the Kelso Elks. Okay? Just don't forget that. Is there something else? AM, 7 a.m. at the Elks. Sounds good? Yeah, everybody have a good day. Stay dry out there.